We're going to start off with the Texas Rangers. Like you said, they started the heat up. They were the hottest team coming out of these All-Star break into the second half. Their first three, their three homestands against the Tigers, A's, and Braves went 8-1, and immediately followed that up going to the Angels, who have been struggling a little bit recently and losing the first two. We don't know the result of the third game yet. We don't know if they're getting broomed. We don't know if they are going to come back and, you know, get the Seattle on a positive note. But there's another thing that the Rangers have, and that's a couple days from now, they got the trade deadline, and they got to worry about that. That's a big deal. They're kind of in the middle of the road. They're right on the fringe. They're a fringe playoff team. It's always a tough decision on that point. Do you buy? Do you sell? Do you stay put? I think a lot of people are really pushing for the Rangers to be aggressive like they were in 2023. Obviously, they're in a much better position in 2023, but kind of see them, we've kind of talked a lot about buying or selling for the Rangers. I think we're both in agreement that they should buy, right?
Yeah, I mean, we said it last week. They probably should buy. They have, opportunities to make a run, I think. I think they for sure go for a back end reliever. And by the way, it's weird to say that when their numbers aren't bad by bullpen. They're a top five bullpen this year. Might be top three, honestly, just based on ERA. And it's weird
Yeah.
to think that because it's a typical band of misfits method that we've seen from the Rangers, these past few years. Just get some, bargain guys, some guys who are very cheap on the market and sign them for these cheap contracts and then just hope and pray that it goes well. And if not, try to get something at the deadline. And somehow it's worked for, I guess, the majority of the season, even though it feels like the way I talk that it's kind of a bad bullpen, but really it's been a really good bullpen. So I don't know if they're going to go for someone like Pete Fairbanks, have him come back home and pitch for the Rangers as a closer, which I wouldn't mind at all. But John Gray has looked good since his return back from, the injured list. He didn't pitch well in the second game of the game in Anaheim, but he's been overall pretty good in his return back from the IL, and he's been a nice setup man. Seventh inning maybe. A two-inning guy in the bullpen for this Rangers team. So as guys are getting healthier, Josh Board will be back soon as well. I think Pete Fairbanks would be a nice guy to have in the closing spot. So possibly going there first. I don't know what bat they would get. So that's the question maybe you could answer, but I really
Oh,
don't know. I don't know who in the world they'll possibly get
I,
to help
I mean,
their lineup.
it's
They might not get anybody. I think it'd just be pitching, honestly.
I don't know. I think it is only pitching too, because you're talking about the batting, and a lot of the players have already gone out. I mean, you talk about Naylor getting traded to Seattle, and at this point, you almost want to think about getting somebody just so Seattle and Houston can't jump on them because they are being aggressive so far. I think Houston will be aggressive as well. Um, I think the only batter that they would care about would be somebody like Marcell Ozuna. But they don't need somebody who's going to be high power, inconsistent type bat. They have a lot of those already, but I think that's the name that's been floating around a lot. I love Pete Fairbanks, though. Pete Fairbanks, great choice. I think they could also look at Colorado. I mean, Colorado can do great business with anybody. They have a couple relievers. Jimmy Herget, one of them, that's I think subpar three ERA or sub three ERA. Great strikeout guy. I believe he's even a lefty, but somebody that the Rangers can pick up and be get a huge closer because we still don't really have an identifiable closer. Damn, tongue twister there for some reason. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of options there for relievers. I think that that is the route that they go because you talk about it, it's like they really aren't a bad bullpen, and bullpens are on such a thin line, especially with the Rangers, just because of 2 years ago. But I mean, they have done pretty well, but you look at some of these recent games that they've lost, and you can point the finger to them just a tad bit, and hopefully Josh Sborz can come back and be an impact like he was in the 2023 postseason. Hopefully, Trevor Mall comes back soon.
I'm
To
absolutely
hear about
sick.
him because
I
he
totally
is
forgot about
all-star
it, bro.
numbers.
Forgot
So
about him.
yeah,
It's
yeah, nobody's
crazy.
been talking about him, but you want him to come back. That puts another starter like Kumar Rocker who can potentially go out and eat innings in the bullpen as well, and maybe even be a better piece in the bullpen. So we'll see what happens with the Rangers, but I think we should, I think they go by. I think they have to go look in the reliever market for sure.
I was sick that they didn't get Ryan Helsley. That's a guy I had number one above Fairbanks. But since he's going to New York to be with the Mets, it is what it is. I really liked him as, a closing man, had 49 saves in 2024, led the league. Um,
Absolutely.
I don't know why these rumors of David Bednar keep floating on my Twitter timeline, man. Please, enough. No David Bednar. The times that he was really at his peak for being a Ranger was when Ezekiel Duran was popping off, and that was, during the World Series year where he was filling in at third base, and we were like, man, is Duran gonna be the future of this team? And as we see right now, it's not looking bright for him. This is
Hey,
not
we
one of
didn't
his,
even need him in the end because, Aroldis Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, Jose Leclerc,
yeah,
Josh Forsberg, how
exactly.
many times they gave us a heart attack, say? They
And
closed
it
out almost every game.
ended up being a blessing. So I guess
So,
not giving up Duran for David Bednar ended up not working out. But please, just please, no more Bednar rumors, for 2025. It's
uh,
2025, no more.
the big 2025 for David Bednar. Come on, guys. Let's be real.
It'd be the most
Um,
Ranger pickup, to be honest.
And I really think that this 4 game series against Seattle is going to be a real big teller. It's going to be pretty awkward if you go out there and try to be aggressive buyers and then get swept by Seattle, which is a very big possibility. I hope that obviously it doesn't happen. The best case scenario, I think, in this is winning 3 out of 4. I mean, you're
Hmm.
going up against some of the top pitchers for the Mariners as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough, tough weekend for the Rangers. Hopefully, they can keep above water and stay in that playoff picture. But anyways, yeah, another recent news with the Texas Rangers is that they are announcing Josh Hamilton back into the back to the Rangers, putting him in the Hall of Fame, going to give him his golden jacket. Gonna
Hambone.
put his name up with some of his other teammates like Elvis Andrews, Beltre, Michael Young. It's gonna look great. I'm a big fan of it. I know a lot of people have some very big differing opinions about Josh Hamilton. But before we do, I thought it was interesting. I mean, I thought I was a casual because the Rangers tweeted out when they announced it. They said Hambone is coming back. It's Hambone, right? I've never heard him called Hambone.
It's like more of a clubhouse thing, but it was like, I don't think everybody was really calling him that. I don't think you're missing that. Like the ticket, I don't think was calling him Hambone. It was probably just like a little like low key thing that you call him in the clubhouse. So I don't think you're
Like
missing
it's like
anything
one of those
crazy.
nicknames that people come up with now. The Hambone.
Hambone, Hambone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really shocked by this announcement. Really shocked. Like out of the blue, after the Rangers game, and just seeing that on, just based off like, his legal stuff that he's been going through the past decade. Has had a lot of struggles with the best of them, but just the legal stuff is what thought made me think that he was just gonna be banished from here forever. And you had Juan Gonzalez not pulling up for the Rangers for, 20 plus years.
Yep.
And he just came back like a few years ago. So I thought that, with that logic, a guy who was like Juan Gonzalez was kind of distant from the organization, was gone that long. Josh Hamilton will never return, right? Let alone be in the Rangers Hall of Fame. So I don't know how they like discussed this and, made this decision, but it is what it is. He's one of my favorite players that we ever got to watch. And unfortunately, his peak didn't last as long as we expected. But as the player, he's a really great guy who made our childhood. So that's really
I
cool.
think I think he's the best Rangers player of all time. Maybe, I wasn't old enough to wear or not old enough to know how Nolan Ryan played with the Rangers, but it's Nolan Ryan. I completely respect it. But to me, my prime, Josh Hamilton, best Rangers player, best offensive player. How about that for the
Could
Texas Rangers? And
could make an argument.
it
Yeah.
makes it really interesting. Obviously it's got to be a mutual thing that Josh Hamilton's got to accept this offer and come back. It makes you think because, you talk about the controversy with the fan base, how short of a prime he had with the team. It kind of makes, I mean, I'm just thinking like, you think they ever like sent out an invite to A-Rod? I mean, he had a
I
very
don't know.
short prime with the Rangers that was amazing. Top tier stuff, all-star every year, basically, if not
I,
every year.
I mean, you made a good point. And, Hamilton left for the Angels. He got booed, in that return. You know, Fans kind
Like
of turned
A-Rod.
on him. They turned on him, man.
I wonder if they've ever thought about giving A-Rod an invite. That would be hilarious if he
Yeah,
like would decide to accept it.
I guess they
So
just don't feel him worthy, because you go to the freaking New York Yankees, and maybe that's just the reason why they've
he's not
never
as
thought of
yeah, he's not as
he.
interesting in the Rangers lore. the
Yeah,
Rangers
it's
background.
so weird to think that that dude was a Ranger, bro. Like at one point for a good 3 years.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Or
Largest contract in sports history at the time.